on this? Because, Olivia, there's a lot to get stuck into here. Most notably for me, the fact that the government appears to be quite keen on the idea that apparently only 2,000 members of the RMT need to change their minds about this strike before any referendum that they would do would mean that they didn't strike. I.e., if they wait it out, then they don't have to offer them any more money.
Yes, so this is a line that's being pushed this morning by Tim Shoveler, who is the chief negotiator for Network Rail. And he's saying that what happened last time is the government put forward its pay offer and it was rejected, but over 30% of rail workers actually accepted it. And he's saying that the union didn't give their workers enough time to consider the offer before making them vote on it. And what he's hoping, and what the government is clearly hoping, is that if that offer is put forward again and the workers are given a little bit more time, then only, as you say, 2,000 of them would have to change their vote for the December pay offer to be accepted. So that seems to be the government's idea for a solution for this. But then you've got Mick Lynch saying this morning that he is prepared to strike all the way through to May, June. So he's going to keep on playing hardball. Yeah,
he is. Now, just worth reminding ourselves of what that offer reportedly was. So the public body, overseen by the Department for Transport, had offered a 5% pay rise in 2022 backdated to January, so last year, the year just gone, 5%, and a 4% pay rise from the start of 2023, also with job security, basically, so no compulsory redundancies for the next year. Some would say that's not a bad offer. Now, that was accepted by a couple of unions. The RMT still playing hardball on this. ASLEF, another union, they are also threatening strike action, and they are, as far as I'm aware anyway, mostly the train drivers. And when I look at the figures being offered to the RMT and the fact that the train drivers are normally, well, they are the best paid people on the train service, I wonder whether or not public support for this now will just hit rock bottom.
Public support has already been declining month on month pretty much. So in November, public support was far down from August and September. Yes, the hope is for the government that if it keeps repeating these figures, the figures are that the median salary for trained staff is between £38,000 and £54,000, which is above the median average for the country, then public support will start to ebb away. I think you're right in suggesting that there are people whose Christmases were ruined by it and who are feeling less supportive. The other thing that the government's hoping is that actually the strikers, the actual workers, many of them, it's being reported this morning, have been on strike for 20 of the last 200 days. That's 10%. That's a lot of money that they're losing. So the government is hoping that if it holds out and keeps playing hardball back, then yes, public support will start draining away, but also support for the unions will start draining away among the workers themselves.
Yes, absolutely. Now, the other element to this, which is that they are trying to pump this line that it's a massive act of self-harm. And again, people at home, or if you're listening on your radio, whatever you're doing, I want your input on this, because if you were the type of person who would be looking to get a season ticket, so a railcard season ticket now they are thousands and thousands of pounds. An annual season ticket is a monstrous amount of money. Would you really get one now? And I'm starting to wonder with this work-from-home generation as well, whether or not actually they're just putting themselves out of business, because what would be the point of getting a season ticket now if you, frankly, cannot be sure whether or not that train's going to even run?
Yeah, and that's definitely a line that the government is pushing hard at the moment. Essentially, the government, well, the taxpayer, has been propping up the rail network for the whole of COVID times. And just when the network is actually getting back up and running again, we've got all these strikes. So there certainly is an argument there, but essentially sort of turkeys voting for Christmas.
Exactly.
And you could say that, you know, the unions are sort of hoping for a general strike of 1926 or whatever, when strikes were capable of crippling the country. But, as you say, in the sort of work-from-home generation, with everything digitalised, isn't it just possible, at least the government is sort of hoping, that people will just turn away from the rail network altogether? And that takes the wind out of the union sails a little bit.